Hello everybody, my name is Veriax and this is Foundation. This is a nice little city builder that I found on GOG.com. Been streaming it for a good little while now. We're at the end of our build, so I thought I would upload a video for YouTube to sort of like do a little tour of the settlement. I did this for City Skylines a little while back now for a build called Evergreen. This is Valhalla. And also talk a little bit about the game, about some gameplay mechanics, and because this is still an alpha, share my thoughts about what the game kind of needs and some change that I think needs to be implemented. And maybe the developers will get wind of it, but you know, it's not like I have a whole lot of clout in this kind of field, or indeed any field at all. Maybe about this one. No. Yeah, well, just kind of like just to share my thoughts and everything for posterity. So, the first part of this video, we will talk through just a little tour of the settlement. It's still not quite finished. I might have one more session with it on stream to get it totally done. But I'm in the mood to make this video now, so I will type thing. You know, there'll be a few details to do, but pretty much the let's see. So I'm gonna set the game running. And I'm just going to give an overview, like a quick tour of Valhalla first. It all started way back in the day, 60 hours ago, here at the town centre. This is the town square right there. And so that is where our settlement began, and so that's kind of like where I kind of wanted to keep the middle of the settlement. I think I've done that. So obviously we've got a walled town here. This tower isn't finished, and there's a bunch that are still being built. But we'll start here since this is right in the middle. We've got the main town, if you like. In it, we've got the main market square. All these. In fact, I'll talk about the AI. Let's just UI even. Let's take that off. There we go. So this is the main market square. You see all around there. We get various goods being sold and things like that. Some nice houses around. Couple of gardens and stuff. So this is a nice place to live. This is the city center. So this is where people come to meet and barter and just hang out, you know, when they're not doing other stuff. We've got the main church here. There's quite a lot of churches in the settlement, which I shall get to in my sort of thoughts about things, but this is the main church, obviously behind the city walls there, and a couple of you know, like a fountain there that didn't really go according to plan. Yeah, there's another couple. This is a better example of a fountain. Yeah, a couple of like shops and stores and stuff, but mostly this is just residential. We'll sort of move out here a little bit and start going up this way, so we get another church here on the outskirts. Couple of... Oh, okay, the game has decided to give me something to think about. Oh look, there's bad weather coming. We'll get to that in my thoughts as well. So yeah, a couple of light industry here. With I can't stop thinking about sort of City Skylines and the equivalents of it. But yeah, so this is just gathering berries. A couple of huts out here. Then we get into sheep farming up this way. And on the outskirts, we pretty much have farming and a bit of light industry. Here we've got a little garden with a shrine in it, which I thought was pretty cool. So pilgrims come to there and pray, and sometimes they join your settlement because you have the shrine in this nice garden. We've also got the main tavern. This is called the... What's it called? The Rusty Beaver. Yes, you can tell chat was involved in the naming of such things, but this is the Rusty Beaver Tavern with some breweries next to it. It is the main tavern, you know, just outside the city walls, so if people just like pop in and do some trade or whatever, they don't actually go into the city. They can do it at these sort of stalls around here and such like that. So yeah, more farms around here, a couple of mills, a hops farm there for the booze, for the tavern. Over here we go to the fishing village and the quarry here. There's the quarry right there, and all these stonesmiths and such that are kind of doing their thing. There, of course, we need a lot of stone for this build. Then up here, yeah, more fishing villages and stuff like that. More fishing. We like our fishing, and a couple more fields on the outskirts. And over here we get to the palisade, I guess, the fort, where visitors will come in and they'll have to go through this for inspection before they can enter the actual city itself. Here's another. This is the Pointy Pauldron. This is another inn. This is mostly for the soldiers who live and work around here, along with this church here. And then over here we get to the main industry, I suppose, the mining industry, with all these jagged rock formations. So we've got iron and we've got marble and other such things around here, churning out things. And all these, of course, are production buildings, making precious minerals and such like that. Over here we get another little hamlet, if you like. Mostly these are hunting huts, so people go and hunt boar in the forests for dinner. And moving over here, we'll go to Monastery Island, which is just off the main settlement there. So this is where the monks hang out. There's a little monk there. And this is where we make grapes for wine. We make we get not the bees, but yes, the bees for honey. And these are brought straight into here to the main market. So that's the Monastery Isle just there. Pretty proud of that. Kind of like the way it looks. Some more fishing villages up here as we zoom past the castle, which we'll do last. And over here, for across the river, where we get more kind of like fishermen and stuff like that. Another inn. This one's called, can't remember. What's this one called? It's called the Lewd Loot. That one's called. This is pretty much for fishermen and sailors and people from the mines up here to come and hang out. So it's kind of a ragtag kind of place, whereas the Rusty Beaver is sort of like the Hilton, if you like. This is much more your B&B type thing. And up yonder hill to another fort, a bit more substantial, this one, because this one guards our gold mine, which is obviously up here. So we get a couple of gold mines there. We've got a watchtower on the cliffs there, and yeah, so these are mostly soldiers' houses, and this just guards our gold. And here we get some gold smelters and stuff like that as well to turn these into bars, which can then be sold or traded with other settlements. And finally, I guess we'll get to the castle, which is just right here. So the map is a river map, obviously. I noticed that it all comes to a head here. So the castle guards the river pretty much. There are two main bridges. This one, where the gold's brought into. This one goes into the castle proper. And then we get this one from the monastery, which just goes into the city. So the castle itself houses this giant, great big gate, as well as my house. This is the Lord's Manor. So this is there's a giant tower here, basically filled with coins that I can dive in, like Scrooge McDuck. I've got my own garden there, which isn't finished. That's going to be like a statue there, and a couple of benches there. This is my private garden to keep the riffraff out. So there's my house. Isn't it glorious? And then we get the inner bailey here with sort of like Dark Souls-ish sort of structures in it. Giant round towers and this giant church and stuff like that. Really like the look of it. Some military there, some training dummies for them and stuff like that. So there it is. That's the city. So it started here, started going this way. I went towards those rocks over there. So all of this was kind of so it sort of like we started there and kind of went up this way, and then planted some farms there and just kept going up there, and then I got industry here. But then we found out we didn't have any gold, and gold's kind of important because it's really obviously valuable. So I was like, well, damn it, all right, so we'll go over here. So then it spread over there, and then that just led to this being in the middle. So that's where we built the castle. So all good. So this is a really, really good, stable game. It's in alpha, as you can see there. Alpha 1.6.28 0.0216, and it has not crashed once. It's all nice and stable, and yeah, it's just it's been a lot of fun to play in general. I'll go through kind of like how it works then for any of you wanting to kind of pick this up, because there are a couple of traps in this that you kind of need to know about. So pretty much you start with a couple of villages, like 4 or whatever, and then you'll build like obviously a way to get like a gathering hut to get berries, and then you'll need probably like a lumber camp to cut down trees, and then you can build a hut that makes planks, and then with those planks you can make another building that makes this and that, and so you keep spiraling up like that, and then you can produce more stuff. You know, you gradually unlock like the wheat fields, and then you need a mill, then you can make bread. And then there's wool to then get tailors, so you can make clothes for your villagers to wear. And so, and you sort of like keep unlocking more and more technologies until you get all this stuff. So you get like stained glass, and there's tools in there, and obviously beer and meals and honey and all that kind of stuff. So and some blueprints, brilliant. So the trap is that your villagers have ranks, which is here. So you get newcomers, so they're the guys who have just arrived, and they don't really want much. Then you get serfs, commoners, and citizens. The higher you rank these guys, so you can pay to upgrade them pretty much. If they're happy, you can upgrade them to the next level of a villager, if you like. But the more they're leveled up they are, the more stuff they want. So newcomers are quite happy hanging out in the town square. They don't even want a house. What they want is some berries to eat and some water to drink, and they will be quite happy with that. But you don't get much tax from them. The more you level someone up, the more tax you'll get from them. Serfs want a house, and they want clothes, which is where you start. So you'll zone areas where people build houses, and they'll build them themselves. So if we go into like this paint development zone, you can paint a residential zone, and it tells you like what's where it's desirable, and you can just like paint a zone, and they'll build houses in that zone. You have no control over that, like where the houses go or anything. They will just build them in that area, which is why they get all. You can't have it too organized, pretty much, which is the nature of the game, because obviously this is a medieval city builder, and you didn't really have town planners and stuff going around. People just saw a patch of land and built a house. So that works pretty well in that regard. But anyway, so they want a house, and they want some clothes, and then the next level up, they might want to go to church, and they might want some more variety in their diet. And then citizens, the top tier, will want like honey, and they'll want jewelry to buy, and things like that. So if you level too many people up too quickly, this is the trap. If you level too many people up too quickly, you will outstrip what you can produce, because everybody will suddenly want clothes, and you've got like one sheep farm, producing wool, and so they all become unhappy, and then they all leave. So that was why my first settlement failed. Because of that. Well, I could have, kept going with it, but I learned that lesson and started this one. So that's what you gotta be aware of, pretty much. Otherwise, I'd just say take it steady, enjoy the game. I've really enjoyed streaming this. It's been a really chill game to stream. They're more like just chatting sessions with this running on, in the background. And you can just slowly build up your settlement. You get certain buildings which are modular, like the churches are, and the inn, and some buildings you just plunk down like this. If a building is modular, like the Pointy Pauldron over here, for example, so the Pointy Pauldron and the Rusty Beaver are the same building, but you can add stuff to it if you want, like that, and of course like the castle as well. So that's how the game pretty much works. But I would just say take it steady, level people up slowly. If at all, because you don't have to level them up. You'll just have them as, if you want to keep them round here just doing menial tasks, don't bother giving them a house or anything. They'll be pretty happy just hanging out in the town square here. So that's how the game generally works, and I advise you pick it up. I'm gonna say a couple of things now that I don't like about the game. I think they could improve, but in general, I wouldn't have played this for 60 hours in the stream if I wasn't enjoying it. So this is going to be there's going to be some battlements on this, by the way. Eventually, it's not just like a block of stone. So this game's like full of little details as well. Like, for example, you saw the bees earlier, so you get someone going in and actually harvesting the bees with some smoke there. Well, not the bees, the honey, you know. So all these little animations everywhere. So if someone goes in here, you'll see them picking grapes. The game is really detailed and really nice. Like when you build buildings, you'll see these wooden scaffolds go up before the stone's built around it. So such great detail in it. Really, really good detail. And it's only an alpha, so they're probably going to fix a lot of these things that I'll say anyway. And I'll try and stay away from the main ones, but generally I've got a couple of thoughts about this that I want to talk about. The big one I want the developers to change. Hi developers, how you doing? Get rid of the rain or make it optional, because we got that pop-up a little while ago. The game generally is really bright and colourful and pleasant, and then the rain comes along and it does two things. First of all, it changes gameplay slightly so that the fish become more plentiful, but wheat and I think berries become less plentiful. So they go down by like 50% or something, and the fish go up by like 20%. Earlier in the game, that can have a major effect on you, especially if you don't have access to a lot of fish, obviously. And if you just want like to chill out and build a settlement, you don't really need that. Also, it makes the game, for me, look horrible. Like you always have this constant rain effect. We'll probably see it before this video is over, actually, the way I'm wittering on. And everything goes cloudy. The view distance is reduced. Obviously, you know, there's not a lot of view distance because you can sail off into the distance because, you know, there's no borders on the map, but that's fine. But yeah, so it goes all cloudy, all grey, and it lasts for quite a long time. So I would suggest make that optional. Just, do you want rain on or off? And then, you know, you can switch it off. Brilliant. Also, an unlock all mode, like a creative mode, would be great, because the way you like I was saying, you slowly build up with what you can buy. Like in City Skylines, just have a mode, you know, disable achievements, whatever, but have a mode where everything is in these menus here straight away. So you can just build what you want when you want, without any restrictions. That's another thing that I think. So give the players like options about what they want and how they want to play it. If you do play with unlockables on, what I would heartily suggest is to have some visibility about how to unlock stuff. For example, the castle. So you've got to build this. This is called the giant gate masterpiece, which is pretty much unlocks the castle, unlocks all these towers and stuff like that, and this wall. And how do you unlock this? Well, you've got to get, I think it's 5 knights in your military. We won't touch military in this video, but yeah, there's military, and you can send them on missions, and you can get bonuses if you win. But it's all off camera, and it's kind of like a little side thing, which is kind of nice, but not a major part of the gameplay, so I'm not going to chat about it too much. But yeah, so you get it with 5 knights, and the way you get 5 knights is by getting, it's like you need so many soldiers per knight. But the game doesn't tell you this, so you got to look it up. You got to find it on the wiki. Why? There's a bunch of things that are like completely hidden that, you know, that's not even on the wiki because this is a relatively low new game. Why hide things? Why not put them in the help file? There's a help file here somewhere. It's somewhere. There it is. Why not put like builder masterpieces where you've got to unlock them and stuff, but tell us how to unlock them. So don't hide stuff you can unlock is what I would say. In order to get this, you need this. That's what I would heartily suggest. Another thing is, so it's really, really cool how like the villagers make their own paths. So I didn't draw any of these. The villagers made their own paths in the grass to get to A to B. So these are all organically grown. All of these paths are just going from A to B. The villagers will find their own way, and eventually, if someone goes over it a couple times, they'll erase the grass to create this sort of path dirt texture. Brilliant. What I would like, as part of my creativity, is a way to paint the ground eventually. Maybe not straight away, again, it can be unlockable, but I want this to be like a plaza. I want this to all be paved, and I want all that to be paved, and maybe in here as well, because that happened. People put paving down in castle courtyards and things like that. So why can't I do it? It's just annoying. So erase the grass and just paint it whatever I want. Can cost resources, might not cost resources, whatever the makers kind of feel is best. But yeah, be able to paint the ground has no effect on gameplay whatsoever, just an aesthetic kind of thing. That would be dandy. Move on to the next thing. I believe they're going to add terraforming into the game as like a tool that you can do before gameplay starts, or maybe during. What someone in the chat suggested, and I thought was pretty cool, is to have terraforming jobs, so you could alter the game canonically with with your villages. So if you want to dig a moat, you can assign this to be a moat, reduce this this land down, and then assign villagers to do it. So that'd be kind of cool to be able to terraform the map with your villagers, so you can build hills or something with that. If you wanted to, you don't have to, but that'd be kind of cool to do that. And the last thing, gameplay wise, I think that I would really like is a way to remove trees without harvesting them, because currently these forests are everywhere, and in order to get rid of them you've got to cut them down. I mean, that makes perfect sense, but it can take a while, and sometimes you're just like, come on type thing. So maybe the option to just like remove trees without harvesting them, so they're gone from the map but you don't get anything for it. Maybe it costs you some resources again, like some gold or something. I think that would be a nice little shortcut for people to have as an option type thing. Couple of things about the buildings as well, which I'm sure people might implement anyway, so we'll see. But these are the markets. I'd love to be able to make a building version of these, because this is the only way people can buy goods is at markets, which makes sense. But we've got like buildings for everything else. We've got people living buildings, we've got production buildings. So I'd like to be able to have a building a bit like the tavern, where I can build a shop for people to go in, and then because when you build a market you can decide what it sells, so why not do that with a building? So that'd be kind of cool. A major thing, pretty major thing for me, when you make a building. So the tagline for this was probably my biggest gripe, to be honest. I should have... Oh, this is the biggest gripe. It's going to start raining. And look what it does. Yeah, isn't that lovely? Now this will last for a good 2-3 hours of gameplay. It's not bad looking as far as rain goes, but it completely changes the aesthetic of the game. And I just don't need it. I would never miss this if it wasn't there. So, back to what I was saying. Modular buildings, cool, brilliant. So you can make, so you can build buildings and you can add that there, whatever. Awesome. Then you can add sort of decorative things, also great. So 2 points here. This decorative tab, someone in the chat said this, and I fully agree with them, should not be segmented between buildings. So if I want to put a gargoyle on a monastery, for example, should be able to do it, because my creativity is my only guide, right? Currently, that's not entirely true. My creativity is these 4 options here to add stuff to this. So you can add crosses, but I can't add like a bench. If I want to have a bench outside, can't do it. It's not there, because you can only add benches to Markets. A market can have a bench. Yeah, markets can have benches. But nothing else. Just a market can have a bench. So, you know, why? So have this decorative thing as a full list of stuff that you can add to your settlement and buildings and stuff. Also, because what I've done here is to get a graveyard in here, is that this is actually a door, like a double-sided door, because the backs of the doors are actually textured. So I put a door facing that way, a door facing that way. So you could argue that, yeah, my creativity has been my guide in doing this, but really, you know, should I have to do that to get graveyards in the freaking church? Because you can have graves. There's different, because that's a church. This is a rustic church. Where's the one with the graveyard? There it is. This rustic church can have graves, but the actual church can't. Why? Who knows? Just, you're not allowed. So yeah, it's kind of annoying. Too far. Too far. This is annoying. This is really too far away from the main building. You can kind of see why they put that in there until you actually try and do stuff, and it just gets very, very annoying when you're trying to add a little bit of variety. And as soon as you go too far away from the main building, you can't place something. Except you can break this by placing. So I want for some reason I want to place this door over here, and I'm not allowed. The game doesn't let me. But you can daisy chain these blueprints, and now suddenly I can do that, and then I can delete these, and then I can build that. So it's a pointless mechanic. Get rid of it. If I want to build something far away from the building, let me do it. It might not be how it's supposed to be, and it might not be proper, but it would be better, because the game lets you do some weird stuff. So if I was to go into here and I want to build a stone bridge, right? I want to build a stone bridge. So let's build the bridge there, and actually we'll have it come out. Let's build it to here, right? And then I think what we'll do is we'll have it like that. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Now, the game will let me build this to a point. Maybe this is too far, but it's okay. But I can build that. Now you could say, well, this is an aqueduct. You know, it's just the same as that, but it isn't an aqueduct. It's a bridge, and this would be a. Oh, I guess because before it was actually going off the map, that's why it wouldn't let me build it. But the game lets me build this, but it won't let me build things too far away from that. So it's inconsistent in I'll have to remember not to save this game now because I built that. So it's inconsistent. So get rid of the too far thing. If I want to build a churchyard out here on its own with no church near it, I should be able to, because my creativity is my only guide, apparently. Another little thing as well, another little thing, UI thing, is that I want to delete this cross here. Don't like that cross. So I've got to go into here and then pretty much find it in this parts thing. So there's a couple of crosses here, so it's that one. So then I delete it that way. But with big buildings, you know, like this and stuff, that can be a right pain. That can be a bit of a chew on to find that one cross. So I don't know, let me select the building and then click that, and then it would highlight here, and then I can delete it. Just a thought. And a couple of little things which I'm sure they'll fix. This art is terrible, freaking awful. Doesn't fit the aesthetic of the game at all, but I'm sure that'll be getting changed fairly soon. Villagers leave if they're unhappy, and it'll say villager leaving due to unhappiness, but you can't click on it. Or you can click on it and then you can see the villager leaving, but you don't know who they were, you don't know why they left. You know, you can't say, so like this visitor is leaving your theme park because of this reason. It's not like that. You just can't click on them. They're just not part of your settlement anymore. So you've no idea who they are, no idea who you've lost. So that could do with some work. Another little thing is that the capacity for the churches I don't think are big enough. This one holds 49 people, and it's a pretty big church. But what... So there should be like a bigger capacity. And by the way, this is part of that church as well. So this is all the church. Everything with this texture is the church. 50 people, and we've got 500. Which means I've got a church here. I've got a church there. I've got a church here. I've got a church there. 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 And I've got a church here. For 500 people. It just seems a bit excessive. And yeah, you can make the churches bigger. You can make them taller, which increases the capacity, and you can also like make them bigger footprint. But I still don't think... I just don't think they hold enough people. I just think it's ridiculous how many churches I've got for a village of this size. Mind you, they could be from different deities and stuff like that. I kind of you can explain it away, but pretty much in general, I don't think the churches hold enough people. And one last thing is villagers can get stuck places. Like I got a villager who got stuck in here for some reason, so I had to delete the building for them to be able to get out. Seems a bit odd. Why not? You know, because the game knows if a villager is stuck. For some reason, people gotta get to this extension B, which I think is this. But you know, people get stuck going to warehouses and stuff like that. Not actually stuck. I just think they can't actually get to it. But some actually get stuck and can't move, and then they actually get unhappy because they literally can't move. So there should be a way to rescue villagers, or like an automated thing. So if a villager hasn't moved in, say, 2 minutes gameplay or 5 minutes game time, warp them back to the main square. Just add a little script to do that. I'm sure that can't be too difficult. So that's my thoughts on Tyranny. Get rid of this freaking rain. Because, you know, I just don't. I know it's subjective, but I don't think giving your, you know, the player's choice is a bad thing. You know, switch the rain on or leave it off. You know, sort of give the player's choice. It's a good thing. But in general, this game is great, and I've really enjoyed playing it. Let's see, 60 hours building Valhalla. Very much enjoyed it, and I do thank everybody in the streams for watching this slowly build up. This is a very slow burn game, but I've enjoyed it an awful lot. Alright, so I am going to head off, and I hope to see you soon. Let's say I'll probably have one session of this after the game is this video is uploaded, just so I can finish this off and we can get some screenshots of it and stuff like that, because these buildings are getting built. So what I did, by the way, to solve the issue of the church is to build church towers, because this is a church. Build church towers on the walls to hopefully increase the capacity. I don't know if it's worked, but it differentiates the outer wall from the inner wall, which has these more traditional battlements. Oh yeah, one more thing. Gates. Okay, gates. This is the Great Gate Masterpiece, which you unlock with 5 nights, which you unlock with something else, yada yada yada. Bit oversized, but what can you do? This is the only gate in the game. This is the only gate in the game. And you'll say, but Veriax, you have these gates here. This is not a gate. This is a bridge. The only way you can put gateways into the walls is to build what is essentially these, which attach to bridges, on the floor, and then put a bridge under it so that people can use it as a gate. That's why all these have bridges under them, is because these are all technically bridges. Strange choice, really. Very, very odd choice to do that. But that's what I had to do to get gates in my walls. Again, creativity. You know, I kind of liked working that out, but I'm not sure whether I needed to, really. I don't know whether that was something I should have had to do. But I did it, so that was fun. But yeah, so there was a bit of charm trying to work out how to do stuff. with the game's limitations, but the game shouldn't have limitations because let creativity be your only guide, right? You know, except when it isn't. So I do like this game, but there's the caveat that it's a bit inconsistent with how it does stuff. Like sometimes it lets you build like a massive bridge, but you know, then it locks you out of a bunch of options for modular buildings and that kind of stuff. So you got to fight against the games at some point to get it working the way you want, get stuff how you want it. All right, so I'm gonna go. Thank you all very much for watching. I do recommend you pick up this game if you like games like Banished and Populous and a couple of the games, you know, like this that people have compared it to. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys do too if this is kind of your thing. All right, thank you very much, everybody, and I will see you soon. Toodaloo.